What if I told you that the reason so many men over 60 struggle in the morning, the weakness, the lack of drive, the softer performance, isn't just aging, but the simple mistake of drinking the wrong thing before bed? Imagine waking up strong, clear, and ready to perform like the man you used to be, just because of one glass the night before. That may sound shocking, but it's the truth. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, a urologist and men's health specialist with more than 30 years of experience helping men restore their vitality. I've treated thousands of patients who thought decline was inevitable, only to discover that small, consistent changes gave them back their strength, their energy, and their confidence. Here's the paradox. Most men believe they need testosterone therapy, miracle pills, or expensive supplements. Yet often those quick fixes fail or even cause harm. The surprising reality is that the real solution has been sitting in your kitchen all along. It's natural, safe, and backed by science to fuel your body while you sleep so that your mornings feel brand new. So let me make you a promise. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal exactly what to drink before bed if you're over 60 and want super strong performance by morning. Not just better sleep, but deeper energy, clearer focus, and yes, firmer confidence in every sense of the word. And stay with me, because I'll also share the timing that makes it work, the men who should avoid it, and the powerful success stories I've seen firsthand. Once you hear this, you'll never look at your nightly routine the same way again. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another health tip designed especially for men over 60. And I'd love your feedback. If this video helps you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0 so I know how to improve and bring you even more value next time. Now let's begin with the first truth every man over 60 needs to understand. The changes you feel, lower energy, weaker mornings, fading drive, are not random. They're the direct result of testosterone decline, and unless you address it, your performance will keep slipping year after year. 1. The problem men face after 50 to 60. Gentlemen, let me be honest with you, because I've seen this story unfold in my office far too many times. A man sits across from me. He's in his early 60s, sometimes 70. He looks healthy on the outside, but his eyes tell me the truth. He feels weaker in the morning. His drive is lower, his confidence shaken. He says, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore." And what he doesn't realize is that this isn't just about getting older. It's about what time has been quietly stealing from him year after year. After the age of 60, the body goes through a silent transformation that many men never talk about. Testosterone, the hormone that fuels strength, stamina, and passion, begins to decline by about 1% every year. At first, it's subtle. You don't notice it immediately. You still get through your day, still go to work, still spend time with your family, but then one morning you wake up and realize something is different. The energy you used to have in your 20s and 30s feels like a distant memory. Your muscles don't respond the same way. Sleep no longer refreshes you. And perhaps most frustrating of all, your performance in the bedroom, the very thing that made you feel like a man, isn't what it used to be. I've seen proud, strong men, veterans, fathers, business owners, look at me with worry in their eyes, asking if this means the best part of their life is over. And I always tell them the same thing. Decline is not destiny. The mistake most men make is believing weakness, fatigue, and poor performance are simply the price of aging. But the truth is, your body still has the power to thrive. It just needs the right fuel, the right support, and the right habits, especially at night. Think about it this way. When you were younger, your body could take a beating, late nights, poor sleep, missed meals, and still bounce back. But after 60, every choice matters more. Your body is less forgiving. If you go to bed dehydrated, stressed, or undernourished, your system doesn't just pause, it breaks down. That's why so many men wake up feeling older than they are, because the nighttime hours that should be repairing their bodies are actually working against them. This is where so many of my patients feel stuck. They notice the decline, but they don't know what to do about it. Some reach for quick fixes, pills they see online, supplements with big promises, even testosterone shots that might not be right for them. Others simply give up. convincing themselves that this is the way life has to be. But I'm here to tell you, that's not true. I've worked with men in their 70s who still wake up sharp, strong, and fully capable. The difference between them and the men who struggle isn't luck or genetics. It's the habits they've built before bed, the rituals that support their bodies instead of draining them. And here's the part that often surprises men the most. What you drink before bed can change everything. Yes, something as simple as a glass in the evening can affect how you perform the next morning. I know that sounds almost too simple, but it's true. Science has shown us that hydration, circulation, and hormone production all depend on what happens in the hours before you fall asleep. Ignore it, and you'll keep waking up groggy, stiff, and unmotivated. Pay attention to it, and you'll begin to feel a surge of energy and strength you thought was gone forever. So the problem men face after 50 and 60 isn't just that their bodies are changing, it's that they're not giving their bodies the tools to fight back. Every morning you feel weaker isn't a sign of old age. It's a message from your body saying, "Help me rebuild." And the good news is, you can. You don't have to surrender to decline. You can fuel your nights in a way that restores your mornings. Now, if you've ever wondered why sleep itself plays such a powerful role in how you feel the next day, why some nights leave you broken and others leave you renewed, then you're going to want to hear what comes next. Because the secret isn't just about what your body loses after 60, it's about how you can turn your sleep into the most powerful weapon you have against aging. 2. The importance of sleep and hydration. When I sit down with men in their 60s, one of the first things I ask them is, "How well are you sleeping?" Almost every time, they shrug, smile a little, and say, "Doc, I don't sleep like I used to." They think it's just age, something they have to accept. But I know what's really happening. Their bodies are crying out for repair, and they're not giving themselves the chance to heal. Sleep isn't just rest. It's the single most powerful repair system your body has. It's when your testosterone is produced, your blood vessels recover, your muscles regenerate, and your brain clears the fog of the day. It's not optional, it's essential. And yet, so many men are sabotaging themselves every night without even realizing it. The biggest culprit? Dehydration. As we grow older, our sense of thirst diminishes, and our ability to conserve water weakens. That means by the time you feel thirsty, your body is already behind. And if you go to bed in that state, your blood literally thickens. Your heart has to work harder to pump it, your circulation slows down, and your brain, your muscles, and yes, even your sexual organs receive less oxygen and less nutrition. Instead of waking up restored, you wake up drained. I remember one of my patients, a man named Robert, who told me he felt like every morning was a fight just to get going. He assumed it was because he was 71 and thought he had simply worn out. But after a few questions, I realized he was drinking nothing before bed, often ending his evenings with a glass of wine. His body was thirsty and inflamed, and his nights were breaking him down instead of building him up. When I asked him to try something simple, a glass of room-temperature water with a pinch of sea salt an hour before bed, he looked at me like I was crazy. But 2 weeks later, he came back shaking his head, saying, "Doc, I feel like I've taken 10 years off my mornings." That wasn't magic, that was hydration. Sea salt, not table salt, makes the difference. Sea salt contains minerals like magnesium and potassium that help water penetrate your cells, hydrating you at the deepest level. It's not about guzzling gallons of water, it's about drinking smart, in the right way, at the right time. Just 8 to 10 ounces with a pinch of sea salt, 60 to 90 minutes before sleep, can change how you feel in the morning. And it's one of the simplest habits you can adopt. What most men don't realize is that hydration sets the stage for every other function of recovery. Without it, your blood vessels stay constricted, your hormones struggle to circulate, and your body can't perform the nightly repair it's designed to do. With it, your system runs like a well-oiled machine, delivering oxygen and nutrients where they're needed most. It's like watering a garden. No matter how rich the soil is, if the hose is only half full, nothing grows. But when the water flows freely, life returns. So if you've been waking up stiff, sluggish, or unmotivated, it might not be because you're old. It might be because your body is dehydrated, fighting an uphill battle while you sleep. And the fix is right there in your kitchen sink. Now, Once your body is properly hydrated and primed for repair, the next question is, what can you add to that nightly routine to supercharge circulation, boost oxygen delivery, and wake up with the kind of strength and stamina you thought was gone? Let's talk about a drink most men overlook, yet it has the power to open your blood vessels and transform your mornings in ways you'll feel almost immediately. 3. Beetroot juice, the circulation booster. When I first mention beetroot juice to my patients, most of them chuckle. They picture the pickled beets their grandmother used to serve at Thanksgiving and can't imagine that this humble red root could hold the key to better mornings. But the truth is, beetroot juice is one of the most powerful natural tools we have for restoring circulation, performance, and stamina in men over 60. I'll tell you why. Beets are packed with dietary nitrates, and once inside your body, those nitrates are converted into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is like a master switch for your blood vessels. It relaxes them, widens them, and allows blood to flow more freely to every organ and tissue. And I mean every organ. Think for a moment about how your mornings feel right now. Do you wake up heavy, stiff, and sluggish? Do you notice that your workouts feel harder or that intimacy doesn't come as easily as it once did? Much of that has to do with blood flow. When circulation is poor, your muscles are starved of oxygen, your heart works harder than it should, and your sexual performance takes the biggest hit. But when circulation is strong, when nitric oxide levels are high, you feel lighter, sharper, and more powerful. This is where beetroot juice can be a game changer. I once worked with a man named Victor, 65 years old, who still loved to run. He told me he was losing his edge, that his legs felt heavy and recovery took longer. He was frustrated because he still had the will, but his body wasn't keeping up. I suggested something simple, 5 to 7 ounces of beetroot juice about an hour before bed. Within a week, he called me and said, "Doc, I don't know what you did, but I feel like someone flipped a switch." His endurance improved, his sleep deepened, and he woke up with more vitality than he had in years. That wasn't a prescription drug. It wasn't testosterone injections. It was circulation restored naturally. The science backs this up. A study from the University of Exeter showed that older adults who consumed beetroot juice daily experienced better muscle efficiency and required less oxygen during physical activity in less than a week. Imagine that. Your body literally working less hard to achieve more just by adding this one drink to your nightly ritual. Now, I understand not everyone enjoys the earthy taste of beets, but you don't have to choke down a jar of pickled vegetables. Today, you can find cold-pressed beet juice in most grocery stores, or even powdered beetroot that mixes easily into water. What matters most is consistency. It's not about drinking a gallon all at once. It's about giving your body a steady supply of what it needs to open up your blood vessels, improve oxygen delivery, and prepare you to wake up strong. And here's something I want you to consider. Blood flow is life. It's the fuel for your brain, your heart, your muscles, and your manhood. Without it, every system suffers. With it, every system thrives. Beetroot juice isn't flashy, but it is effective. And for men over 60 who want to feel younger in the morning, it's one of the simplest, most natural steps you can take. So once you've hydrated your body and supported your circulation with beetroot juice, what else can you add to your nightly routine to balance your hormones, calm your stress, and help you sleep deeper than you have in years? The answer might surprise you. It's a fruit most of us overlook, yet it holds a secret weapon for men struggling with restless nights and fading drive. 4. Tart cherry juice, the hormone and sleep enhancer. There is something remarkable about the power of a simple fruit. Many men who come to see me expect me to prescribe a pill or order a complicated test. They're surprised when I lean forward and say, "Have you ever tried tart cherry juice before bed?" They look at me puzzled, almost amused, as if a cherry could possibly change how a 70-year-old man feels in the morning. But I've seen it time and time again. This deep red juice carries a strength that most men underestimate, and once you understand what it does inside your body, you'll never look at sleep the same way again. Tart cherries are unique because they are one of the richest natural sources of melatonin, the hormone that signals your body it's time to rest. After 60, many men lose that natural rhythm. They toss and turn, wake up multiple times in the night, and feel as if they never reach true deep sleep. Without deep sleep, your testosterone production suffers, your muscles fail to recover, and your brain never fully clears the fog. That's why mornings can feel heavy and uninspired. Tart cherry juice gently restores that rhythm, helping your body fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. But that's only part of the story. Tart cherry juice also lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that acts like a thief in the night. High cortisol blocks testosterone, keeps your mind racing, and robs you of the energy you need the next day. I've had patients who described feeling restless, anxious, or mentally wired at night, even when they were physically tired. Within weeks of adding just a small glass of Tart cherry juice to their evening routine, they felt calmer, more relaxed, and finally able to drift into sleep without struggle. That lowered cortisol didn't just improve their rest, it reignited their desire, their focus, and their drive. And let's not forget inflammation. One of the most common complaints I hear from men in their 60s and 70s is joint pain. The knees ache, the back stiffens, the hands don't work the way they used to. Tart cherry juice contains powerful antioxidants that reduce those inflammatory markers. Imagine waking up without that heavy stiffness, being able to move more freely, and feeling less burdened by pain. That relief alone can make mornings brighter and more productive. One of my patients, Jeremy, was 72 when he came to see me. He told me his biggest problem wasn't even performance, it was exhaustion. He said, "Doc, it feels like my engine just won't start." I recommended he begin with 4 to 6 ounces of Tart cherry juice about an hour before bed. Nothing more complicated than that. 3 weeks later, he sent me a note. "It's like someone turned the lights back on." His sleep deepened, his mind sharpened, and even his joints felt looser. A few months later, his wife told me she noticed the change too. He was livelier, more engaged, more himself again. That's the quiet power of Tart cherries. This isn't about chasing youth with unrealistic promises. It's about working with your body instead of against it. Tart cherry juice is natural, safe, and effective. Just 4 to 6 ounces before bed can change how you sleep, how you feel, and how you perform when morning comes. Now, if you've ever wondered why so many men over 60 still wake up tired, even after a full night's rest, there's another hidden culprit at work. It's not just poor sleep or stress, it's a missing mineral, one that nearly 70% of older men are deficient in. And without it, your body simply cannot function at its best. Let's talk about magnesium and why it may be the key you've been overlooking. 5. Magnesium, the forgotten mineral. There is a quiet deficiency that I see over and over again in men over 60, and it often goes unnoticed for years. They come into my office complaining of restless nights, low energy, muscle cramps, or difficulty focusing. They think the problem is stress, age, or just bad luck. But when we look deeper, we discover the same missing link time and again: magnesium. Nearly 70% of men in this age group are deficient in this essential mineral, and the effects ripple through the entire body. Magnesium is involved in more than 300 biochemical reactions. It helps relax your blood vessels, which improves circulation. It plays a central role in producing energy, so without enough of it, you feel drained no matter how much you rest. It calms the nervous system, making it easier to fall into a deep, restorative sleep. And perhaps most important for men concerned about vitality, it's directly connected to testosterone production. Without adequate magnesium, your body simply cannot sustain the levels of testosterone that support strength, stamina, and performance. I remember speaking with a man named Alan, 68 years old, who told me he couldn't remember the last time he felt truly rested. He would wake up multiple times in the night, his legs cramping, his mind racing. He had tried sleep aids, but they only left him groggy the next morning. I asked him about his diet, and sure enough, it was lacking in magnesium-rich foods. I suggested he try magnesium glycinate, a gentle, highly absorbable form, about 300 milligrams 30 minutes before bed. A month later, he came back to me smiling, saying, "Doc, I didn't realize how much my body was missing until I gave it back what it needed." His sleep improved, his mornings felt calmer, and even his workouts became more productive. This isn't just anecdotal. Research consistently shows that older adults with higher magnesium levels have better sleep quality, lower blood pressure, and improved testosterone status compared to those who are deficient. It's not about creating an artificial boost. It's about allowing your body to operate the way it was designed to. When your cells have enough magnesium, everything works more smoothly. Your muscles recover faster, your heart pumps more efficiently, your mind feels clearer, and your mornings are no longer clouded by fatigue. The tragedy is that so many men overlook this simple mineral. They spend hundreds of dollars chasing complicated solutions when sometimes the answer is as straightforward as replenishing what the body has quietly lost over time. And it doesn't require extreme changes. A warm cup of tea fortified with magnesium citrate or a capsule of magnesium glycinate before bed can be enough to shift your nights from restless to restorative. I often remind my patients that magnesium is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, your engine sputters. With it, your engine hums again. And for men over 60, whose bodies are more sensitive to deficiencies, correcting this gap can mean the difference between feeling decades older or waking up ready to take on the day. So if you've been searching for that missing piece of the puzzle, wondering why hydration, circulation, and even better sleep still leave you feeling incomplete, it may be that your body is crying out for this forgotten mineral. And once you supply it, the transformation can feel profound. But even with hydration, circulation, hormone balance, and essential minerals in place, there is still one more crucial step your body needs each night. Because while you sleep, your system is not resting, it is repairing, and that repair demands raw materials. Let's talk about the kind of protein that works quietly through the night, giving your body what it needs to rebuild strength, preserve vitality, and keep your mornings powerful. 6. Slow digesting protein, casein or collagen. One of the most overlooked truths about getting older is that your body never stops rebuilding. Even while you're asleep, your muscles, your tissues, and even your hormones are busy repairing and regenerating. The problem is that most men over 60 go to bed without giving their bodies the raw materials they need to carry out that work. Imagine trying to build a house without bricks or lumber. It doesn't matter how skilled the builder is, the structure will never rise. In the same way, if you fall asleep without the right nutrition, your body struggles to repair itself, and you wake up weaker instead of stronger. That's why slow digesting protein before bed can be a powerful tool for men who want to hold on to strength, energy, and vitality. I'll never forget Tom, a 70-year-old who came to me frustrated. He was exercising 3 times a week, lifting weights and staying active, but he kept noticing his muscles getting smaller and his strength slipping away. He told me, "Doc, I'm working harder than I ever have, but my body just isn't responding." What Tom didn't realize was that after 60, muscle breakdown outpaces muscle building unless you give your body a steady supply of amino acids. I recommended he add a scoop of casein protein to a glass of water about an hour before bed. Casein digests slowly, releasing nutrients over 7 to 8 hours, exactly when his body needed them most. 2 months later, Tom walked into my office with a smile. His strength was returning, his workouts felt better, and he even noticed his sleep improving. The secret wasn't more exercise, it was smarter recovery. Casein isn't the only option. Collagen peptides can also play an important role. Collagen not only supports muscle repair, but also strengthens joints, ligaments, and skin. For men who wake up stiff, sore, or achy, collagen can ease that discomfort and allow the body to stay mobile and active. Many of my patients prefer stirring collagen into a warm drink before bed. It's gentle, easy to digest, and provides a steady flow of amino acids through the night. What matters most is not the brand or the flavor, but the principle. Your body needs building blocks to stay strong. As men age, the risk of losing muscle mass, what we call sarcopenia, increases dramatically. This doesn't just make you weaker, it affects your balance, your metabolism, and even your independence. But studies have shown that men who take slow-digesting protein before bed preserve more lean muscle and maintain greater physical function than those who don't. It's not about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about keeping the strength you need to live fully, to carry groceries, to play with your grandchildren, and yes, to perform confidently in the bedroom. I often tell my patients that consistency is everything. One scoop of casein or collagen won't change your life overnight, but making it part of your nightly ritual can transform the way your mornings feel. Over time, the difference becomes undeniable. You're stronger, you recover faster, and you feel more resilient. And in a world where so many men over 60 accept decline as normal, this simple habit can set you apart. So now that you understand how protein can fuel your repair process while you sleep, the question becomes, how do you put all of these nighttime habits together in a way that works with your body instead of against it? Because even the best routine can backfire if you don't follow one crucial rule. In the next section, I'll share the timing secrets and important cautions that make all the difference. 7. Important notes. By the time men reach their 60s, they've often tried dozens of things in hopes of feeling stronger in the morning. New diets, medications, even expensive supplements that promise the world. And while the habits we've discussed, hydration, beetroot juice, tart cherry juice, magnesium, and protein are powerful, they're not one size fits all. That's something I want to be very clear about, because the same drink that gives one man vitality can create problems for another if he isn't careful. It's not about following trends. It's about respecting your body, understanding your health, and applying these steps wisely. Let's start with timing. I've seen many men adopt these bedtime drinks with good intentions, only to sabotage themselves by drinking too late. The truth is, finishing your drink just before your head hits the pillow can backfire. Why? Because as we age, the bladder becomes more sensitive, and the chances of waking up at 3 in the morning for a bathroom trip increase. That interruption robs you of the deep sleep cycles where your testosterone is produced and your body heals. That's why I stress so strongly, finish your last drink 60 to 90 minutes before bed. It gives your body enough time to absorb and process the fluid so you can sleep soundly through the night. Then there are the medical considerations. If you're taking blood pressure medication or nitrates, beetroot juice can lower your pressure even further, sometimes to unsafe levels. That doesn't mean you can't use it, but it does mean you need to talk with your doctor first. If you're managing diabetes, tart cherry juice contains natural sugars that must be factored into your daily intake, and even magnesium, as safe as it is for most men, can interact with blood thinners or diuretics. I've always told my patients, the safest path is the one you walk with your healthcare provider beside you. Don't assume natural means risk-free. Another point is consistency. I've seen men try these habits for 3 nights and then give up, claiming they don't work. But your body doesn't rebuild itself overnight. The men who succeed are the ones who treat this as a ritual, not a quick fix. Jeremy, a 72-year-old retired teacher, once told me he felt like his engine wouldn't start in the mornings. He began with just tart cherry juice and magnesium. 3 weeks later, he described it as like someone turned the lights back on. After a couple of months, he added beet juice and a small casein shake, and his energy transformed. His story is a reminder that it's not about doing everything at once. It's about starting with one habit and then building. And maybe the most important note of all is this: don't underestimate the power of small changes. Too many men believe their decline is inevitable because they're focusing on huge, intimidating solutions. But I've seen ordinary men in their 60s and 70s wake up with strength and vitality again simply because they added 1 glass of the right drink before bed. It wasn't magic. It was consistency, patience, and respect for their body's natural needs. So now, as we bring this all together, let me ask you a question. If one small habit can help restore your mornings, what would happen if you combined several of them? Hydration, circulation, hormone balance, minerals, and protein into a powerful nightly ritual? The answer is what we'll explore in the conclusion, and it just might change the way you look at every single night from this day forward. Conclusion. Gentlemen, as we reach this point, I want you to pause and think about everything we've covered. We've talked about the struggles men face after 60, the loss of testosterone, the fatigue, the mornings that feel heavier than they should. We've uncovered the role of sleep and hydration, the quiet power of beetroot juice for circulation, the calming and hormone balancing effects of tart cherry juice, the forgotten strength of magnesium, the rebuilding support of slow-digesting protein, and the important notes that ensure these habits work with your body instead of against it. I've seen men walk into my office believing their best days were behind them, only to realize that with small, intentional changes, their mornings could feel powerful again. It isn't about chasing youth, it's about choosing vitality, confidence, and strength in the years ahead. I've seen it happen in men just like you, and I know it can happen for you too. So tonight, when you stand in your kitchen and pour that glass, remember this: you're not just preparing for sleep, you're investing in the man you'll be tomorrow morning. And if you give your body the right fuel, it will reward you in ways you may have thought were gone forever.